Tensions are running high.
Militants in Lebanon have
Israeli
fired
warplanes have bombed targets
inside a holy site in Jerusalem.
Israel carried out airstrikes.
Israeli jets hit Lebanon and Gaza early on 7th April as tensions following police raids on the Al Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem threatened to spiral out of control. The Israeli military said that the attacks were a response to a barrage of 34 rockets fired from Lebanon into northern Israel a day before on April 6th, which it blamed on militant group Hamas. Militants in Gaza fired dozens more rockets after the Israeli strikes began. Tensions are high following 2 nights of Israeli police raids at the Al Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. The raids triggered violent confrontations with Palestinians inside the mosque, which is Islam's third holiest site, and caused anger across the region. That brings us to Al Aqsa. Let's talk about Islam's third holiest site in the world. Al Aqsa is a place that has always been in the news and is an important place in order to understand the Israel-Palestine conflict. Al Aqsa is the name of the lead domed mosque inside a 35-acre compound referred to as Al-Haram Al-Sharif, or the noble sanctuary by Muslims. It is the third holiest site in Islam. The sanctuary includes the Dome of the Rock, the 4 minarets, the compound's historic gates, and the mosque itself. The Jews call it Temple Mount, the holiest place in Judaism. The hilltop compound housing the mosque lies in the old city of Jerusalem, which is a World Heritage Site. In 1947, the United Nations chalked a plan to divide Palestine, then under British, into 2 states, one for Jews and one for the Palestinians. East Jerusalem, which houses Al Aqsa, belonged to the international community under the administration of the UN because of its religious significance. After Israel declared statehood, the First Arab-Israeli War broke out in 1948. Israel captured around 78% of the land, and the remaining areas of the West Bank, East Jerusalem and Gaza were under Egyptian and Jordanian control. Israel started occupying East Jerusalem, and after the Six-Day War in 1967 with Syria, Egypt and Jordan, it eventually annexed Jerusalem, including the Old City and Al Aqsa. Jordan and Israel agreed in 1967 that the Waqf, or the Islamic Trust, would have control over matters inside the compound. The external security would be handled by Israel. Non-Muslims would be allowed onto the site during visiting hours, but would not be allowed to pray there. However, Israeli forces allow Jews to enter the Al Aqsa compound from time to time, but in the presence of security forces. And this has been a bone of contention for years. Al Aqsa is described as the most sensitive site in the Israel-Palestinian conflict and has often been at the center of clashes and political controversies. The Al Aqsa Mosque once again saw violence recently after Israeli police officials attacked dozens of worshippers at the religious site's compound on the morning of April 5. Israeli police claimed they were responding to rioting. According to them, a number of Palestinian worshippers had barricaded themselves in the mosque after Ramzan prayers. Israeli police said in a statement that they were forced to enter the compound after masked agitators locked themselves inside the mosque with fireworks, sticks and stones. Events in Jerusalem and tit-for-tat cross-border fire add to an already tense political atmosphere in Israel, which is reeling from weeks of protests. The latest violence is yet another flashpoint in the long and troubled history of Israel and Palestine.